Hey guys, it's Glenn from glenscarcollection.com, and today we're driving one of my favorite cars. Now this is a 991 GT3. I like this key. I like how I have to put Miami blue for my car, but that looks pretty awesome. So this is in Guards Red. This is a 991.1. So this is PDK only, and it's a 3.8 liter flat six, naturally aspirated. Revs to about 9,000 RPM, 475 horsepower, 325 foot-pounds of torque. How does it make its horsepower? By revving to the high RPM. So this one has steel brakes. You see a lot of ceramic brakes. I actually prefer the steel brakes. The ceramics, I forget how much they were, $8,000 option, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. It probably gives you most of that back in resale, but I prefer the steel brakes, especially the drives I do where there's a lot of rocks. The last thing you want to do is chip a ceramic rotor. Now, all the 991 GT3s have center lock wheels. You have sticky Michelin Cup 2 tires on this. Now this is a mod. I need to do this for my car. You get rid of the amber symbols and you put in the clear markers, kind of the European look. And you have a fixed wing for that 3.8. So the 991.2s that came after this went to the 4 liter. This is a 3.8. Same as the 997.2s and the 997.1s were 3.6. So special thanks to Tim at DCH Montclair Acura in Verona, New Jersey for providing the car. This definitely looks aftermarket to me, so I have a feeling we're going to have a much louder exhaust today. But good looking car. I think it looks great in colors. All these GT3s are white or black, so I prefer a red, I prefer a yellow, I prefer a sapphire blue. Those are my favorite colors for this GT3. So let's take a look and some features around the car. You got the low spoiler. The great thing about Porsche is if you ever bottom out, this is very cheap to replace, $100, $200, and it protects the paint. So unlike an M3, say BMW, you scratch it, you're actually scratching the body panel itself, the underside of the bumper. Here you're just scraping that rubber skirt. So just like any Porsche, all the buttons are the same as the 991. You have some carbon fiber pieces here, which are really nice. You have the front trunk, and then you have the back engine. Back engine really doesn't show you much at all. If you want to show off your engine, you bought the wrong car. There you go. You got some cooling fans, and you could add oil, and not much to show, but I do like the carbon fiber here. That's pretty cool. There we go. And has red gauges to match. You could get pretty much any color gauges, I think, on a Porsche. I know you can get yellow, red, white, black, and pretty deep trunk. And it even has the, I guess, optional, the Porsche accessory here so you don't scratch anything. You could fit your hockey bag here. You can. I've done it. Usually I take out my helmets or skates because I have big feet, but you can fit it. Batteries right here. You just easily pop this out and you could hardwire your battery. That's what I did for my 991.2. And on GT3S just gives you a sticker. This actually gives you the symbol. All right, so I think it's time to drive. These have the sport seats. You can get the carbon buckets, but these are the sport seats, which I think are a great compromise. All right. Like the red gauges. And it's pretty easy around here. So let's turn it on. I like the carbon fiber trim, it's really cool. All right, now this doesn't have, I don't believe, a backup camera yet, since this is a 2015. Parking brake is right here on the bottom. These are to do your mirrors, open and close your windows. It's a hot day, it's like 90-something degrees. So if we go in reverse, it'll show us here. I'll try to raise the temperature so we don't get too much fan. So there's no backup camera. This is 2015, I believe. We can drive in PDK Sport. And this does our shocks, but that, of course, is going to make it a much bumpier ride. So we'll ride in comfort, and we'll put the sport exhaust button on. Though I think this seems like it has an aftermarket exhaust. Now, this is driving in. We could go to the side for manual mode, or this is auto mode. I think you can override the shifts anyway. The shifts are large. Somebody put it. This looks really good. So the shift paddles are decent size, very good quality because it's a Porsche. The steering wheel, actually, they put the shift paddles on it. This is the standard steering wheel for the GT3. How do we lower this fan here? Standard for the GT3, but you know, they had the little other things on the 997s with the automatic, the first PDK, so you don't have to worry about that here. This is very tasteful. Somebody put optional, which I think they're aftermarket shift paddles in carbon fiber. It looks perfect. It looks OEM practically. All right, so now if we go into manual mode, we actually have to shift ourselves. This is automatic mode. Automatic mode, manual mode, and it says an M there. Now we'll see it on the manual side, and we have to shift it ourselves. We're in first gear starting out. Now this is really a track car for the street. It's not an all-out race car. That would be a cup car, but it is a pretty aggressive car for the street. And we have Cup 2 tires that needs heat in them. Yeah, it sounds aftermarket exhaust. If it's not, this is the best sounding OEM exhaust in the world. PDK is very good, very responsive. You got a red line in 9,000, which is amazing. I just love high revving, naturally aspirated engines. Now this is a bumpy road. It's definitely stiff if you've driven a 911 turbo, but it's not too bad. But I'm sure it could get tiring if you were doing a long trip, because remember, you have less sound insulation here. It's a very loud car, and it's going to be a very bumpy car. If you have any kind of you know, highway expansion joints, boom, 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 you're really going to feel it. So I think most people say they want a GT3, but they really want a turbo. And I think the turbo is better for most people because it's just a much more comfortable car. You have, you know, usually full leather on those cars and much softer suspension, and it's faster. So you're not buying, the GT3 is not faster. It may be faster around the racetrack to a trained driver, but like a roll on the highway or 0 to 60 acceleration, it's not. All right, so we'll go to our little S-turns up here. You have this nice Alcantara steering wheel. This car has a little over 19,000 miles, 19,300 miles. And you can buy this today. Go to DCH Acura, just tell, I know we saw the Performante and I think one of the Ferraris off my videos recently. So if you see this, you know, let Tim know you saw my video. I love it in this color, Guards Red. I love the red gauges. You got the Sport Chrono. Sport Chrono gives you launch control, so you always want one with Sport Chrono. I don't think it's standard. PDK is amazing. Even though this is a .1, it's still an amazing transmission. Now, acceleration isn't as crazy as you would think with this car. If you've driven a fast turbo, like I don't think it's faster than my car. I don't think it's faster than my car. I honestly don't. But it's got a quick 0 to 60 time, and obviously it's fun. You know, my car can't hold a candle to this. My 2017 turbo. It's a base Carrera, but it's got the turbos. And I think mine actually accelerates faster, but it doesn't have a 9,000 RPM red line that this one does. All right, so let's take those turns once again. It was worth doing that in the GT3. All right, so let's take those turns again. As you know, the rear spoiler doesn't show what's behind us, but you're driving a GT3, who cares what's behind you? This car sounds amazing. Now the handling, there's like no body roll. There's like no body roll whatsoever in this car. Just amazing handling. Now the ride is stiff, but not too stiff. Now if I put it in the you know, sport mode, the shocks, then of course it's going to get really stiff. But I'm just leaving it in the comfort mode, if there is a comfort mode GT3. So it's a little stiff here on the bumps and dips in the road, but going over the manhole covers where some of the stiffer cars would really kind of send a shock, This did not do that. All right, now we're sitting in traffic again. Sitting in traffic, you know, the PDK isn't going to be as good as a torque converter automatic. There's plenty of room in here, so it's a nice car to spend time in. There's no sunroof, so you get a little extra headroom. It's very low to the ground, and there's no, I don't know if there's a nose lift on this one, to be honest. I know a lot of the new ones have it. I'm not sure if it's on this car. See, the PDK could stumble a little bit at slow speeds like that. Now, in 991.1, this was the only generation where it was PDK only. Now, these cars also had engine problems. I know the 2014s had the engine replaced. Some of the 15s did. Some of they made it 16 was the last year for the regular 991.1 GT3. So they got a 10-year warranty. So a lot of these warranties will go to like 2024. Some of them never had the engine replaced, and some did. Now, it is a stiff ride, but as we hit the potholes, that one, that you can feel it on the dips. The regular manholes, we don't, and some of the really stiff cars, like the Performante, we even felt the manhole. So it's not as stiff as that, but it's still very stiff. If used to 911 turbos or, you know, regular normal cars, like this is definitely double the stiffness of an M3. But you can go through the gears easy. Again, that 9,000 RPM redline is rear drive. So the turbos and the Turbo S's are all-wheel drive. And they could make you look like a fantastic driver. This will make you an athlete as well, but you'll definitely have to, you know, to get a fantastic lap time, you know, the better driver you are, I think the better off you are with the GT3 over the turbo. If not on a track, not an autocross, but a track, I think the power of the turbo can make up for a lot of driving deficiencies. All right, so we're almost back to the dealer, so I think we'll end the video here. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and follow DCH Acura. Go to their website. They always have at least 80 Glen cars in stock. GT3s. They got a whole array of GT3s now. They got a 991.1 GT3 RS. They have the 997.1 GT3. They have this GT3. They have a bunch of Ferraris. They just have amazing cars. And just tell Tim that Glenn sent you. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.